It was just another afternoon at Westwood High, and students were hanging around in the cafeteria during lunch. Amara was sitting at a table in the corner, quietly sketching in her notebook. Her long, curly hair was tied up, and she had a focused look on her face as she worked on her drawing. Charlotte, sitting with her usual group of friends, noticed Amara from across the room. She tilted her head, narrowing her eyes. "Look at her," Charlotte said, nudging Olivia. "Sitting there like she's some kind of tortured artist. What is she even drawing?" Olivia smirked. "Probably herself. You know how some people are obsessed with looking important." Charlotte grinned and stood up. "Let's find out, shall we?" She walked over to Amara's table, her presence immediately casting a shadow over the sketchbook. Amara looked up, surprised. "Hey, new girl," Charlotte said, crossing her arms. "What are you drawing? Must be something real deep and meaningful, right?" Amara hesitated before answering. "Just a portrait," she said simply. Charlotte leaned down and snatched the notebook before Amara could react. She held it up and examined the sketch. "Wow," Charlotte said, loud enough for nearby students to hear. "You really think you're some kind of artist, huh? This is..." She paused, then snickered. "Well, it's cute, I guess. Who's it supposed to be? Some celebrity or just your imaginary friend?" A few students at nearby tables turned to watch. Some chuckled, others looked uncomfortable. Amara sighed and reached for her book, but Charlotte held it just out of reach. "Relax, I'm just appreciating your masterpiece," Charlotte teased. "You should draw me next. Maybe then people will actually pay attention to your work." Olivia and a few others laughed. Amara's expression remained calm, but there was something in her eyes, disappointment rather than anger. "You know," she said softly, "it must be exhausting, trying so hard to be cruel just to feel important." Charlotte's smirk faltered for half a second before she quickly covered it with another laugh. "Wow, dramatic much." She finally tossed the sketchbook onto the table. "Just giving you a little feedback, new girl." Amara didn't say another word. She simply picked up her notebook and went back to her drawing, ignoring the laughter still echoing around her. Charlotte thought nothing of the incident until the next morning. As she walked into school, Mr. Harris, the PE teacher, was waiting for her near the main hallway. "Charlotte, my office, now." Charlotte frowned. "What? Why?" "You'll find out soon enough," he said, leading her toward his office. As soon as she stepped inside, she saw the head teacher, Mr. Thompson, standing with his arms crossed. "Charlotte," he said firmly, "we need to talk about your behavior yesterday in the cafeteria." Charlotte blinked. "Wait, what? This is about Amara?" "Sir, it was just a joke." Mr. Thompson didn't look amused. "A joke at someone else's expense is not a joke. It's cruelty, and we don't tolerate that here." Charlotte scoffed. "Come on, I didn't even do anything serious." "You've humiliated a new student in front of half the cafeteria," Mr. Thompson said. "And for what? To entertain yourself." Charlotte looked away, arms crossed. "Fine, what's my punishment?" Mr. Thompson pointed to the desk. "Bend over, hands flat on the surface." Charlotte's cheeks burned as she obeyed. She clenched her fists as she felt the cold wood beneath her palms. Swish, K. The first stroke landed across the back of her thighs. Charlotte gasped sharply. It wasn't unbearable, but it definitely stung. "You're going to spend the next week cleaning up the art room after school, every day. Since you're so interested in Amara's work, I think it's only fair that you help take care of the space where students like her create." Charlotte's mouth fell open. "That's ridiculous." Mr. Thompson raised an eyebrow. "Would you rather call your parents and explain this to them?" Charlotte shut her mouth. She knew better than to let her parents get involved. That afternoon, Charlotte dragged her feet to the art room. When she stepped inside, the smell of paint and charcoal filled the air. She glanced around at the colorful canvases, the half-finished sculptures, the carefully arranged brushes and pencils. And then she saw Amara. Amara was sitting at a desk, working on another drawing. She didn't acknowledge Charlotte's presence at first. Charlotte scowled. "You told on me." "I didn't," Amara said, going back to her drawing. Mr. Harris was in the cafeteria when it happened. He saw everything. For the first time, she realized that making people laugh at someone else's expense wasn't nearly as satisfying as she once thought. And maybe, just maybe, she was ready to change.